Today we're here to talk about water spot removal, letting this chemical break down all that minerals that are on the surface. No more water spots. Yay! Welcome to the Dr. Beasley's Clean Room. I am the Director of Success, Chris Racana. Today we're here to talk about water spot removal. This is my 350R, and as many of you know, I do live up in Wisconsin, and I have hard water. So what did I do last weekend? Instead of driving my car down to the shop to wash it, I decided to wash it in my driveway on a bright, sunny Saturday afternoon. And I was pretty good about keeping it pretty clean, keeping the water off of it, but I managed to let some of my hard water out of my hose dry on my carbon fiber spoiler here. And now I got water spots. Yes, it is carbon fiber, but it is painted black because GT350Rs don't care to advertise how awesome they are. We keep it low pro in the 350R. But anyway, what I want to do here is go through the process of water spot removal. So what you can see here is that all up and down this thing, a lot of swirls, also a lot of watermarks. So we're going to go through those steps you might want to take either if you're at home or as a professional to remedy the situation. Now, everything in detailing is all about ramping up your aggression. You don't break out the sledgehammer when the ball peen hammer will work just fine. So what I'm going to start off with is a car wash. We already accomplished that, but obviously that did not remove those watermarks. Next step we're going to do is we're going to address the problem chemically. We're going to go to water spot remover. Okay, so this is a chemical that's specifically designed to break down the minerals left behind by evaporated water. What happens? We have water, like I have groundwater, very hard water in Wisconsin. It was left to linger on the spoiler on a bright, hot, sunny day. That water evaporated, and what we're seeing here, these water marks are actually the outline of the minerals left behind. Now, those minerals, when left to bake in the sun, can potentially etch into your clear coat and become permanent, and the only way to remove them is mechanically by buffing. First thing we're going to do, though, because this is pretty fresh, we're going to go ahead and try water spot remover. Of course, like anything, pick up a towel. You always want to inspect it, make sure nothing in there that might cause additional marring. So when we are working with water spot remover, it's about identifying the spot. We are going to apply the chemical and give it dwell time. Dwell time is a little bit, it's hard to put a number on it because it depends on your environment. The idea here is, though, no matter what chemical we're putting down here, we want to give it ample time to break down the mineral. We got to give the tool the time to do the job. Now, if you see or sense that the chemical is starting to dry up a little bit on you, but you want to keep it active, all we do is spray more product on it. Anytime you're dealing with a surface that's vertical or, let's say, less than flat, I don't want any of this chemical dripping down onto the paint or onto the vinyl here because I don't have any water spots. I don't have any of those issues here. It's just on the spoiler. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to spray, but I'm just going to use some caution here. And I'm going to hold the towel on the downhill slope. So let's go ahead and apply some water spot remover. Oop, let me take it off stream and put it on spray. I'm just going to address kind of this one spot here. And generally in chemicals, you want to always work from bottom up. Obviously, this is a little unique because I'm on a horizontal surface. So if this were on a vertical panel, I'd always want to spray from the bottom up. The whole idea is I don't want to spray up top and then get runs going down, then I get uneven cleanliness, I guess we're going to call it. So again, this is all about giving the product dwell time and letting this chemical break down all that minerals that are on the surface. So let's go ahead and give this as much dwell time as we can. If you feel that it's starting to dry up on you, just add some more. What I can do is give it a check here. Let's see how we're doing. I'm just going to soak up that product. Let's see. It's faded some of them, but there's still definitely plenty more water spotting. It's definitely removed some of it. You can see it's lightened up. You can still definitely see the outlines. You see it's got some removed, some there, but again, not really the results I'm looking for. So I'm going to give it one more try, but with longer dwell time. And all I'm really doing here is just I want to make sure, because just because it didn't work the first time doesn't mean it's a fail. I saw some degree of improvement, so that means the product is working, but just not to the extent that I need it to work. Okay, I'm gonna give this a couple minutes to dwell here. Okay, so we've given this pretty good dwell time. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that up. And let's see what we have found. I mean, it's definitely faded some spots. There's no doubt about it, especially in this area here. Up on the top of the lip where it's kind of sliding down, not as well. But kind of in this area right here, it's definitely faded and taken out a fair amount of those water spots. But definitely have not removed them all. This tells me we're going to have to go and take the next step on the ladder of aggression, and this means we're going mechanical. So instead of chemically treating it, we're going to treat it mechanically, and that means we're going to a buffer and we are going to some nano surface primers. But like anything, I'm going to start at the lowest step on that ladder of aggression. So I'm going to start off with our NSP 45. So this is our least aggressive polish. This is our finisher. This has the smallest abrasive in it, so it's 0.45 micron. And I'm going to pair that with our polishing pad. If that doesn't work, I can continue to ramp up my level of aggression. I can either ramp up my level of aggression with product. I can go to from our finisher to our fine cut cleaner in NSP 95, or if really necessary, I can go to NSP 150, which is our heavy cut. Likewise, on the pad, I'm going to start 45 in a polishing pad. If that doesn't work, I'm probably going to go to 95 in the polishing pad. If that doesn't work, I can go to 95 in our blue cutting pad. And if that doesn't work, I'm going 150 in the blue cutting pad. And if that doesn't work, it's time to break out the micro wool. Now, you guys haven't seen this very much. This is actually on order. We're going to have this coming in later 2022. This is going to be the third pad in our pad lineup. So just like we kind of have 3 levels of aggression with the NSPs, we have 45, 95, 150. We're going to have the same thing with our pads. We're going to have our HDO Orange Polishing Pad, our HDO Blue Cutting Pad, and then our Micro Wool Heavy Cutting Pad. So giving you all the tools in the arsenal to be able to tailor your service to the needs that are in front of you. It's all about the test spot. That's what Mike Phillips always says. So now that we're breaking out a machine and we're going to try to mechanically address this issue, we are going to do our test spot. We're going to nail our process, and I'm not going to test out our process in the entire wing. I'm going to do a spot, see if I have success, then I will continue on. That way, we do test spots, not test jobs. As you guys know, NSPs, a little bit goes a long way, especially on this small of a surface area. I'll go ahead, spread my product out. Start at a low speed, lock it in, and crank her up. And I'm running now at about a 5, a little over 5-ish. Let's check our results again. Always good to check your towel. And let's give this a quick wipe and see what we're looking at here. That's just about doing the trick. Actually, it's crazy. I'm actually seeing, it's like a little bit of blue flake in this paint. I never noticed before. So you can see water spots. Then we're going to move over to the area I was working in. No more water spots. I'm picking up a couple up here. If we come back over to how I started, and look at all those water spots. Come over to the area I was working in. Nothing down there. There's one right there. Gotta work that a little bit more, but pretty good. I think we have found our solution. NSP 95. So with an orange pad. So let's go ahead and let's get this whole wing polished out and get it back to beautiful. A little bit goes a long way with the NSPs. That's probably about enough. You can see the nice thing with the NSPs, again, a little bit goes a long way, but also you can work it till pretty much disappears off the surface. I have to work a little bit longer though, because I don't even have to get my inspection light out to see I'm still got about 50% removal out of that, but I think we're gonna need to come back with some more. Let's have you guys take a look and see what you think. So again, just as a point of reference, so the water spotting, and in this area there's nasty one, and then we'll come across. So here's kind of where that test spot was, and come across to the new area where I was working. You can see got a lot of them out, but still, see, you see how we didn't quite get all of that one. We didn't quite get, so we're getting there. I think I just need a few more passes. I don't think I'm going to up my aggression. I mean, I certainly could go to 95 and probably make a little bit quicker work out of it. But I really think 45, after the results I saw down here, I was really happy. So I'm going to go back with 45. So again, there really isn't a wrong answer there. I mean, I'm going to come back with 45 and go over it again with 45. I could certainly up my aggression to 95 in the orange pad. I'm just not going to do it because I don't feel like it. Now, I certainly, if you wanted to do that, I'd say, sure, man, go ahead, give it a rip. But we're going to go over the whole wing again, so that's why I got 2 little dots this time. That's when I make sure I got enough to go over the whole wing, because I'm going to start getting into these vertical elements as well. I'm going to start back over here. I like to start low, pull the trigger, lock it in, spread out some product. Now I'm using a pretty good amount of hand pressure here. All right, not much NSP left there on the surface, so, and I'm still seeing some more over here. So I might actually have to go ahead and up my aggression just to finally get everything out, but let's give it a quick wipe and see how we did. Seeing some, yeah, right here. The rest of the wing, or swing, as Ford Performance likes to call it, looks pretty good, but right in here, not so much. Yeah, I mean, this is all, oh, there's some right here. I mean, I got a little bit of haze. I didn't get all the NSP off. I didn't really do a clean wipe just because I'm just looking to see how my progress was. I mean, it's definitely better. Let's give you guys a look. See, there's one lingering right there, right there. But we get over here, no water spots. Let's see, now we're starting to see some. See, right in this area, over towards the driver's side, there's some right there. But not nearly as bad as it used to be. You can see there, like right on that one, we're getting it down. Like it's not a full circle all the way around. Right on this edge over here, I mean, it's coming off, so this needs a little bit more work. So you know what? Let's go 95 cutting pad and make quick work of it, and we can always come back with 45 to finish it out if we need be. So I'm going to switch over to the blue pad. I'm going to prime it with some 95. So again, what I've moved here is our NSP 95. So this is our fine cut. I was using our finisher NSP 45. So that is a 0.45 micron diameter abrasive, or microsphere as we call them. What I'm working with now is NSP 95. So that is 0.95 microns in diameter. So it is a more aggressive abrasive. So I've also paired it with a more aggressive pad. This is our HDO Blue Cutting Pad. So I've upped my aggression both in product and in pad. Still seeing one here, a couple here, so we need to work a little bit more. Let's check it out. Looking pretty good. Still seeing some remnants over here though. Don't even need my inspection light for that. This area that I treated with the water spot remover and then I buffed afterwards is pretty much devoid of water spots. So, like anything, you have to adapt to the situation. Every paint is unique. You know, there's never one answer that's going to work every single time on every car, on every paint, on every water spot. You have to be able to engage a human brain and assess the situation and make decisions. So, what does this mean? This means I'm going to go back to my water spot remover, and I'm actually going to treat this whole thing. And so I'm a little worried about it running, so what I'm kind of doing is dabbing it. Again, I want to keep it wet and keep it active, but I really don't want to get it all over the car. I'm just kind of dabbing it around. I got this pretty well soaked, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just spraying it on the wing, so it's wet on the surface, but I just don't want it running off the wing. But again, it's all about keeping it active and keeping it wet. We do not want this stuff drying on the surface. We'll go ahead and wipe up now. So there you go. It's not always a one solution. It's not always water spot remover or mechanical means. Sometimes it's both, you know. I'm no scientist, but you know, what I'm thinking is that water spot remover helps kind of loosen up those minerals to make it easier for me to get them off with the buffer. Let's give it a try again with the NSP 95. I'm just gonna focus on this half right over here, see if we can really dial it in with this. I gotta say, so far pretty happy how this has turned out. Still got some remnants of a couple water spots over on the side. So, you know what? It's up our aggression. We're going to 150. Check 150 and HDO Blue. Maybe we should have just done that in the first place, huh? Yep. Look at that. 6 passes, all gone. So, that's our solution. That's what the trick was. Treat it with water spot remover. In my theory, I feel like it loosened it up a little bit. That's the gut feeling I get. But I'm gonna go over this whole thing right now with 150, make sure I got everything out of it. I'm giving myself a little extra just because I'm gonna go across this whole wing, or swing, as Ford Performance likes to call it, with 150, and I'm gonna come back and refine it with 45 and call it a night. We are just about water spot free, folks. That's looking pretty darn good. NSP 150 and a blue pad. So typically this is something you can't expect to come back and refine. Not seeing any water spots. I saw a little bit of a remnants of one somewhere over here. See, I mean, this was pretty bad over here, and I'm having trouble even finding anything. Man, I can't find anything. How about that? This is kind of neat. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I never noticed this before. But let's see if, I don't know if you guys can get in there close enough to see it. But there is just the slightest hint of blue flake in this paint. I have never noticed that before. So off with the 150 or the HDO Blue, on with the HDO Orange, back 45. I'm going to do just a little itty bitty bit because I just want to do a quick refinement. And I'm going to go over this entire wing. Keep on calling it a wing. It's a swing. All right. Put out some product. When you're finishing out with nano surface primers, it's one thing, like I went to the 150 and I knew I was coming back with 45. So I did leave a little bit of haze behind because I knew I was coming back to it. Here I knew I was finishing out with 45. And when you're dealing with nano surface primers, generally when you want to finish on them, you do have to ride them through their kind of cycle. And they do have a working cycle. And if you come off early, it can be a smeary mess on takeoff. So that's where I get phone calls, you know, hey, I'm having a hard time getting an NSP off. And that's usually symptomatic of one or two things. You're not working it long enough, or you've used too much product. And this is something that experience just kind of, you have to get that innate sense of how much NSP I'm going to put on my pad versus how much paint I'm going to correct. And you guys saw what I was using here, not a whole lot. Because I knew I wanted to finish out on 45 this last time, I worked it until there was hardly anything left here on the surface. And that's really the key. You want the happiest experience with NSPs, you got to work them through their proper working cycle. This is looking pretty good to my old man eyes. See what the interwebs thinks. So how about a little up close look? So side over here, looking pretty good, huh? Some minor flaws, little stuff. But my goal was to remove swirl marks, and we have done so. No more water spots. Yay! All right, I guess I just can't wash my car at home anymore until I get a reverse osmosis system installed in the garage. All right, so just to put a bow on this thing, the problem we were trying to solve here today was water spots on black paint. We went through the proper steps. We did a rinse, then we did a wash, our least aggressive steps. Those did not work. Our next step in the ladder of aggression was going to water spot remover. Now, while that didn't totally remove all the water spots, it did have some success. And I just want to say from our little experiment here, because we applied water spot here, and then we buffed out the entire wing, we got all of the water spots out in this spot. And I was having a little bit of trouble down here, if you remember. So next time I go through this process, I think I'm going to do the whole thing with water spot remover and then come back, because I don't know, that tells me that this, well, maybe didn't get the job. Hold on, maybe, kind of loosened the cap a little bit, so to speak. And then we came back with a mechanical means to address the situation. We started with our least aggressive, which is our NSP 45 with our HDO Orange Pad. And then we ramped up our aggression to NSP 95, our fine cut with our HDO Blue Cutting Pad. And finally, when I said enough is enough, we broke out the NSP 150 and we paired that with our HDO Blue Cutting Pad. Fortunately, we did not have to go to the micro wool pad because the 150 and the HDO Blue did the job. And then, of course, just to get that extra layer of gloss down, I went ahead and went back with NSP 45 and a HDO Orange Pad to finish her out. And now we got this beautiful gloss. So next step, protect it, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a coating on this real quick and then get going home. So thank you all for tuning in to the Dr. Beasley's Clean Room. I remind you to go ahead and smash the like button and of course, tickle that notification bell so you are informed next time we drop a super sweet new video on the Dr. Beasley's YouTube channel. And in closing, please help me educate America, people. Remember, if you are driving in the left lane and you're not passing anyone, it's time to move over to the right. Left lane is for passing, folks. Middle lane for cruising. Right lane for entering and exiting the expressway. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.